Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, June 18th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice that the previous session we had a pretty narrow range day. Inside day, price closed below the day's open and also below the day's midpoint there. If we drop this down to 1 day right there, you'll be able to quantify that day's range against the average here. You'll see that it fell here below 65% of average range. That's after an increased volatility period here and now inside day. We still have an overall uptrending market here, and one thing we're seeing is a push right now that's taken out the previous day's low. So price has dropped down through the previous session's low here and is still below the low, but has formed a little bit of a bounce here off this lows. Again, if it can start to reclaim the previous session's low, that could provide enough of a bear trap to trigger a move higher. Perhaps a pretty significant move higher by the end of the day above 2-day highs. So if price can reclaim 30.94.5, we could be looking at a push that takes us to 31.50 and perhaps even through that level, which would give us a bullish outside day or very close to it. Something like this right here, where we've taken out that low, springboarded back up here, closed through the mid and approached that prior high. It could be something very similar here where we're doing something like that toward 31.50. Through 2-day highs opens up much more upside. So again, got to keep an eye on the previous session's low there. Previous low is 30.94.5. Okay, let's take a look at the NQ. Now you can see the NQ has already rejected the previous session's low and is currently holding above that low at the moment as well. Previous session's lows here, we've come down and rejected off that low and bounced back above the current day's mid, right just below the previous session's mid at the moment, but just hit it a second ago. This failed low here, again, does it see more upside ahead? If so, a push through 2-day highs could be significant. We could be looking at a return back toward 10.155 very soon. 10.155.5 is the high there. You'll notice on both the ES and the NQ here, I did draw out very fresh key ranges here. That's the key range high, key range low from the impulse sell-off down back to the midpoint there, and those are now the most important 3 levels on the board. If we were to come down here and test these lows, it would provide a bear trap that could give us a return back to the mid and across the highs. And down the road, we do have upside targets that could be reached as well. The 50% target would be 10.550, and then you would have a 100% target at 10.942. So we have a ton more upside here if this thing breaks, with major targets here, and again using the impulse sell-off that we saw here recently as our guide. Alright, taking a look now at crude oil. One thing to note here is that these markets are very tightly compressed over the last day, really the last 2.5 days here in many of these markets. The NQ, ES, YM all developing rounded top type of behaviors. So if they do pull back from these highs and fail on those failed lows, it could be a significant pullback again where we test the bottoms of those key ranges. Over here, what you'll notice is that we have an inside day, the previous session, and now we've kind of tested the highs of that range barely and pulled back quickly back into the range. So really we have a 3-day narrow range that's developed here in crude oil as well. It too has followed a bounce from recent lows with a narrow range. Again, we are building up for a significant breakout across the board here, ES, NQ, YM, and it could be likely to the upside given the overall strength we've seen, but if it is to the downside, we likely at least have a stop run day that would take us back to the recent swing low. Alright, let's take a look lastly at gold futures. You'll see with gold futures that we remain stuck in the range, stuck in the mud, stuck around value basically, and this one is still building energy for a significant move here. We continue to see price be offered at the previous close, so that's the previous month's close. Price is above it, offered here, back down, today so far back down, but also we have higher lows, major support at 1670. So we have a 100 handle range here of trading, and it's really compressed over the last nearly 3 months now, over 2.5 months, as we continue to build energy for a move. Eventually, again, if it fails to hold here, we easily have enough energy to take us back down across the range. If we can hold these highs and we've built acceptance and this is reaccumulation, then we have those upside targets ahead. 1831 would be the next upside target, and then you have the 1957 level. There it is, 1957. That is the 100% target. So we're going to get a big move here soon. Again, until that happens, got to be patient and not get caught in the chop. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.